y'all's doing? Hope everybody had a great weekend. Again, I think it's just a constant reminder of the. Just want to thank the veterans who have served this country, obviously, and the past ones who are living. And I love what we do here in terms of honoring those, who have come before us. And I think we try to just programmatically speak to that throughout the course of the week and in Military Appreciation Weekend. So appreciate you guys, and without further ado, any questions?
Coach, what to do for the confidence of your team to hold them out of the end zone and essentially win the game with defense on Saturday?
Well, I think it's always, we always preach that, man, like, keeping teams out of the end zone, keeping points off the board. And I thought guys just went out there and executed what they're being coached to do. Nobody was trying to do more than what was asked of them or less. They were just doing their job. And I think a result of that was because they did their job. Although it wasn't always perfect, I think a lot of things went in our favor. I think when you execute at a high clip consistently, right, you just can't get bored with doing what you're doing. And because of that, guys were able to make a couple of plays down the stretch and just cause a little bit of chaos for what they have going on. I will say this, and I think Coach Loxley is a tremendous coach. I think Coach Hamilton is a phenomenal offensive coordinator. That quarterback's special. I mean, he made some throws in that game that I don't know if any other quarterback in this conference, let alone in the country, could have made some. He made some throws. I was just like, wow, And I know that young man has a bright future. Obviously, you when you're battling against people, there's obviously a winner and a loser. But he gave us some problems in terms of him being able to throw that ball the way he did, and I'm just happy we were able to contain him all in all.
We're at 119 rushing yards the last 2 weeks. What's been effective in that, and what's that done for your third down defense?
Yeah, I guess I didn't even pay attention to that. No, it's been very effective. I think we do an inside run segment just like a lot of other places do one, but we try to in some of our inside run segments, we try to throw some of the DBs and the corners into the mix as well, and because they're going to be forced to put in situations they got to tackle. And I think what that does when you can play, the last 2 weeks, one of our goals, our first goal actually has been win on early downs, right? And when you win on early downs, I think it just naturally sets you up for third down. I think we made some really good plays when it did come to third down, but I think it was all ignited and started with good early down defense, and more specifically being able to kind of limit them and try to stop the run in some of those early down segments. And the guys, they were tuned in, that they were locked in, they were focused, and they just executed what was being called. And it's really, really fun when you see something properly executed and the result of that is a negative play or a guy makes a huge play. Not only is it a confidence builder for the play caller, but it's a confidence builder for our players, And so it was just really, really good for our guys to experience some success early on in terms of early down defense, which carried over in third down.
And when you were coming off the game, you guys were coming off of in Seattle. What was important for you as a leader in that room to not let those games stack and to get that ship right in the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think every game has a life of its own. I think so often, when people experience adversity, I think just human nature, right? When you go through something that's difficult or you experience adversity, human nature, sometimes you can allow that to kind of carry on into something else. And I think being a former educator, being a former teacher, you kind of got to take every game like in its own life and its own capacity, right? Like you talk about turning the page fast and flipping it, like you have to do that. Now, I think it's natural for some of our players to kind of hold on to that, more than probably some of the coaches, just because I think we're naturally just a little more mature. But I think it also speaks to our coaching staff, right? Being able to motivate young men after not having the success that they wanted to have. I think myself as the play caller, you naturally go in and try to find things. And we had a lot of things that we needed to correct. And you just go and try to remedy those or get rid of them. And so what I try to do after that game is, okay, so how can I dumb this thing down, right? If it is a little too elaborate, and how can I just make it 1 to 2 or 3 calls so that guys can play fast and use their natural ability? I do think, I thought we rushed the last couple of weeks, we rushed the passer at a really, really high clip, which has kind of forced some errant throws, right? We had more batted balls in a game, since I've been here, And so Guys are starting to feed off each other's energy, right? And from that, whether it's the front end and it permeates to the back end, from that, you are starting to see guys make plays over and over and over again. And it's just spilling over to the whole team. So it's really, really cool to see, man. I think, oftentimes I start meetings off our normal defensive meetings with just something in the real world, and football is a microcosm of life, right? There are going to be ups and downs in football. You're going to experience some adversity, right? There's going to be some trial and tribulations. You're going to have games where you may not play very well, and you're going to have games that you play extremely well, right? And in the games that you play really well, how can we humble you? How can we keep you level-headed, right? Because I think human tendency is to kind of relax, right? And in the games that you don't play extremely well or you have a bad game, right, how can we kind of motivate you and get you believing in the ability that got you here? And so I think that's a testament to our coaching staff. That's a testament to Coach B and our head. Just the way our programs ran. We got some tough, smart, dependable young men who believe in this staff, and you can see it. You can see how they bounce back when things don't go the way they wanted to, and how they respond.
Have you seen a difference in Angelo McCullum, or has that been what you saw maybe in preseason camp and it's just over time?
Well, I think I've seen a difference from the time he got here, obviously, into where he is now. And I think that just comes with maturation, right? I think the older you get into this program, I think historically with Coach B programs, me having to be a part of one of them, like when you come in, like we're truly a development program. When you come in, right, you understand from the older guys the expectation and the standard, and then naturally, as you get ingratiated into that expectation and standard, you become a part of it. And so I think because of that, right, Angelo's just become a part of the expectation and standard, and now he's slowly taking on that trend of, like, you see some leadership qualities in him, and he's playing at a really, really high level, and he's doing some things out there that are benefiting our defense, and you just try to be encouraged into that. I always try to highlight our front because, in this conference and what I firmly believe in, it starts up front. If you can do some things up front, stop the run, rush the passer, you can have a lot of success. And I mean, Angelo McCullum and Kurt Neal, I thought they did some really, really good things on Saturday, right? Eli Coonan, right? Pat Farrell was actually our mayhem king and one of the MVPs, man. I mean, he had a really, really good football. It was one clip, I'm watching make a play. I'm like, dang, that kind of like J.J. Watt a little bit. Without the number 99, like he got some long arms. He got his paw up there to knock a ball down, man. I mean, he had a phenomenal game, and it's a multitude of those guys who had a really, really good game. You just want to keep building off of that in hopes that it carries over to the next one.
And how much is that second unit defensive front? Like, how much has that changed what you guys are able to do?
Yeah, I mean, kudos to Coach Jameson, right? Like he's rolling those guys in effortlessly, right? And there hasn't really been a fall off when he does, and so because of that, right, he just keeps them fresh, man. And I think when those guys are fresh, you talk about, I mean, third down pass rush. You talk about the latter part of the game, and I mean, it helps us tremendously, obviously, on the second and third level when you got guys rolling in and they're fresh and there's no drop off and they feed off each other. So again, like it starts up front. We're going to always be a program that's built in the trenches, and it's going to work its way back. But when those guys are having success, I think we as a defense are having success.
What's your message this week to your guys going up against a Wisconsin offense that's had its share of struggles? Yeah, I mean, it's Big Ten football, right? Like we don't, right? It's all clear. I'm a former player of Wisconsin. Coach B coached there, right? Coach Jameson played there. I mean, we got a ton of James Whites in the building. We know what that program is, right? So don't let the record and the things they've been dealing with. That's a really good football team. They just like a lot of teams throughout the country, they have experienced some struggles, right? But I tell you this: when you watch them play, they are a hard-nosed, tough football team, right? No matter what the score, they don't even look at the scoreboard. No matter what the score is, they are battling the whole game, right? And I think that's a testament to Coach Fickle. That's a testament to obviously historically what that place has been. And you're going to get a tough, hard-nosed football team that you got to go in there in Camp Randall. It's a night game. We know it's going to be live, right? Like, everybody understands the expectation, you know what I mean? And we got to come in with our hard hat and play some ball, right? They got good players. They got good players, right? And I know people try to bring us to the end of the season and the struggles they had. Listen, none of that matters. None of that matters. Not this week. Not this week. It doesn't matter, right? This is a really, really good football team. Whether they had struggles or not, right? They beat Washington in Camp Randall. Washington is a really, 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 really good football team. right? So anything can happen on any given Saturday, and we got to make sure that our guys are locked in. We got to make sure we're locked in as coaches, right? Like I think it's a human nature is to start like putting pieces together, right? Well, they beat this team and that team beat it. Not in the Big Ten. Don't work like that. Not in November. Don't work like that, right? And so we're gonna go out there tomorrow. You know, obviously there's gonna be a major emphasis on stopping the run. You know, they do a really, really good job at running the football and create some things in terms of numbers. You know, in running the football, whether they're running with the quarterback or the running backs, and we got to do a good job at eliminating explosives and getting off field on third down.
Back-to-back
You like
games
going
with a
back?
high number of PBUs. What's gone into that?
Pardon me?
Back-to-back games with a high number of passes broken up.
Yeah, I think it's just a heightened sense of awareness with some of our guys. You know, in the last two games, even prior to us playing Rutgers and Maryland, you know, watching on film, a lot of teams have batted some balls down. And so, you know, when you watch some of those games and you see in a lot of teams getting their hands on balls, you kind of try to replicate some of that, you know, and a lot of, especially the defensive line guys up front, a lot of it came on third down, right? Some of our guys were beating coverage and they got a hand up and it was a third down stop, you know, and so obviously continue to emphasize that and I think when whether they're throwing at a certain angle or they're of smaller stature, right? We got some big guys up front. It's just, you know, I think we've harped on it the last couple of weeks now more than ever, you know, after seeing it from other teams against our opponents, and I think it's kind of come to fruition.
Do you enjoy going to Wisconsin to play games? I mean, you've been there a couple of times, I assume, as coach. Is it fun for you? Is it you're able to look around and, you know, absorb it a little bit or not?
Is that a trick question?
No, I'm just.
Are you winking your eye at me?
No, I mean, I don't know.
Okay, right.
I can't
So
wait.
I figure you were gonna ask me something like that, right? So it's no secret, right? My daughter's middle name is Madison, right? So I love Wisconsin. My wife is from Milwaukee, right? Wisconsin. I went to college there, right? Wisconsin means a lot to our household. You know what I mean? And obviously my wife being from Wisconsin, like all that's cool. It's great. It's awesome. I'm sure it's gonna be nostalgic walking back into the stadium. But like I told our players yesterday, like it ain't about me. Right, like I'll go in there, I'll have my moment walking through that stadium. I can remember being there. I'm sure I was talking to James White yesterday about some of our practice periods when we had when Coach B had us doing like 15 periods of inside run and some of the things that we were doing there. But you know, here's home, right? Here's home, and I'm excited to be here. It's gonna be fun getting back there and playing in a place that I had to play college ball. But what's gonna be really, really cool is being able to go in there with our players, right? Go in there with our players who obviously, you know, knowing what Coach did when he coached there, what I did when I played there. But like it's truly about going in there and just trying to take care of business. You know, this is not about me, it ain't about Coach, it ain't about none of the former players. This is a really, really good football team, and we gotta go in there and do what we're supposed to do. Because if you don't, they can cause some problems and make things really, really long, right, and really, really difficult for you.
We're out of time, guys.